Welcome back to the Passport Pals podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Olivia.
And we're the Passport Pals. Happy Monday, everyone. If you are tuning in when this drops, this is episode 4 now.
Crazy.
Here we are. But let's get right into it. Today we are talking about everything Celebrity Silhouette, everything you need to know if you are planning a trip on the Silhouette. But before we get into that, should we get into the Passport Report?
Let's
All
do
your
it.
travel news? Let's go. What do you got over there?
Okay, so this is kind of old news, but new news to me. I just recently found this out and shared it with you, and you didn't know what it was either.
And it's always applicable, especially if you're traveling this summer.
Yes, especially if you're traveling this summer. So, in case you didn't know, in case you missed it, effective January 8th, 2025, any U.S. passport holder and others from certain countries need an ETA, otherwise known as an Electronic Travel Authorization, to enter the United Kingdom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I didn't either. And I know what your next question is going to be. What about cruises? The answer is yes.
Oh.
Even if you're not leaving the cruise ship, you'll still need an ETA if the cruise ship departs from, disembarks in, or enters the UK as part of the itinerary.
We might be doing that later this year. I guess we need an ETA.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is there a price?
I had no idea. Yes, you can apply for an ETA online through the gov.uk website. It is valid for 2 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. And the ETA costs around €10, which is about $12.75 US
Oh,
dollars.
so it's just a one-time thing? And it's good?
For
Oh.
2 years. So in essence, it's a new requirement for US citizens traveling to the UK, even if you're just going through the airport.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good to know. I
Yeah.
hope everybody's going to the UK this summer.
And if you're leaving in like 2 days, don't fret. You can expect to receive your ETA within 3 working days. So maybe fret if you're going in 2 days. But if you're going in 3 days, you're good. So yeah, it gives you permission to travel the UK. Okay, I'm getting different information. It's saying on the gov.uk website, it costs €16 to apply. So
The price may differ.
It may differ, and I think the conversion changes rather frequently,
Yeah.
depending on what time of year it is and so on and so forth. But yeah,
The more
I didn't
you
know you needed one of
I didn't
those.
either.
and I was like, wait, what? What is that? Yeah, again, another thing that I learned from TikTok. But you don't need it if you have a visa. So this is only for like limited travel. So if you're going for anything over, what do you need a visa for? I think
I have no idea.
I don't know. If you need a visa, you don't need one of these.
But if you just have a passport and you're going to the UK for like 2 weeks, you need this.
Even if you're cruising to the UK and not even getting off the ship, you still need an ETA.
I guess we better get on that.
Yeah, I guess so. Wink, wink, cough, cough. Nudge, nudge. But yeah,
Cool. Get your ETAs.
get your ETAs.
Go to the UK.
Euro summer just got a little bit harder,
Just a little bit.
but I don't think the process is that difficult.
It seems easy.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That's it for me. What have you got to share with us today?
I have a lot of news. So cruise news has been crazy this week, and I have a lot to share.
Do share.
Okay, so I have a lot of cruise news. I'm going to start with a celebrity cruise related news since we're talking about celebrity later on, and this one will be quick. But Celebrity Cruises is now offering river cruises.
No way.
They are. I've never done a river cruise, but I would love to. And now that we've been on Celebrity, which we love, I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, what?
So Celebrity River Cruises, starting in 2027, you can river the Celebrity Way.
I'm hooked.
Now, booking will be open in 2025. It's not open yet, so we'll see. But it says they will offer premium river cruising and has signed an initial order of 10 ships.
What?
Yeah. And it says that the river ships will mirror the quality and sophistication of their award-winning Edge Series ocean ships.
Yeah, wait. So enlighten me. I'm not super educated. So what in the past, from what I've seen, river cruises are typically small.
And I think
Very
they will
tiny.
Be. Yes.
So what does that mean? Does that mean they're buying new ships?
They're building new ships. And they've ordered 10 new river ships from the shipyard, whoever is building it.
Whoa.
But yeah, that's really all the info we have. But Celebrity will be doing river cruises in 2027.
That is so cool.
It is so exciting. Maybe that'll be our first river cruise. Hopefully we get on one before 2027. But if not, maybe this will be it. I'm curious how expensive they're going to be because they typically are expensive.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Because I know Celebrity typically runs a little pricier than, your average rate. So I wonder just what they're going to charge. I mean, river cruises in themselves are expensive. Like, you're not getting on a river cruise for cheap.
No,
by any means, but
yeah, I'm excited to learn more. I want to see their ships. I want to see the pricing, itineraries, everything. They're starting in Europe. I do know that, but other than that, I don't know.
Perfect.
But I was excited to see that.
2027. We can't wait to see you.
All right, moving on. Margaritaville at Sea. Margaritaville at Sea has just purchased the third ship to add to their fleet. It is so exciting. We're big Margaritaville at Sea fans over here. They just purchased another ship. Now it is another Costa ship, which their first two ships were also old Costa ships, but this one will be their largest ship ever. It is going to be over 100,000 gross tons. It'll hold about 3,500 people. It is a Carnival Destiny class ship. So if you've sailed on the Carnival Sunrise, Sunshine, or Radiance, it's identical. So that might give you an idea of what to expect from the ship. The current ship name is the Costa Fortuna. So if you want to look more into that, that's the ship they bought. And it will be launching in 2026.
Wow.
I am so excited.
I'm also very excited.
Yeah.
We love Margaritaville.
Yeah. And I think they did a really good job with the renovation on the Islander. And I think the success with the Islander is kind of what is pushing them to do even bigger and better because the Islander kind of changed the game for them. The Paradise, when it launched, which we love the Paradise, but it kind of scared some people off.
Listen, I am a Margaritaville at Sea Paradise apologist. That cruise ship is like, it reminds me of like a small puppy. Like, you never know what it's going to do next. But you're having fun. And it's cute. like it makes up for it because it's cute. Like, you never know what's going to happen next with a puppy.
And neither do you with the Paradise.
But you're excited about it. Like, you're looking forward to what comes next.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. It's like a puppy.
Yeah, she's so cute and small
She's
and fun.
so cute. She's so cute.
But yeah, we also don't know where the home port is going to be or itineraries. I'm calling it now. It's going to be Port Canaveral, and I'm hoping it's Port Canaveral because that's closer to us. But
hopefully we can get on the inaugural.
I'm going to be there. I don't care when, how much, where. I'm going to be there.
I might be here, but I'm happy for you.
You'll be there too.
I hope so. That's the goal.
And then last but not least, some Royal Caribbean news. So they had previously announced Perfect Day Mexico, which is kind of like a private island destination in Mexico. But they just released a whole bunch of new info on Perfect Day Mexico because we didn't really know much. So it'll be opening September of 2027.
Slay.
And it is in Costa Maya. So Royal Caribbean did buy the Costa Maya cruise port, and that cruise port is turning into Perfect Day Mexico.
Wait, what?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, so they bought the pier and it's gonna...
The whole cruise port?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Now, it's rumored that other cruise lines will still be able to port there, but of course you won't be able to go to Perfect Day Mexico if you're not a Royal Caribbean ship.
Okay, I'm
Breaking
mad.
news. But with Perfect Day Mexico's offering, maybe this will cheer you up. Okay, so they will have double the thrills and double the chills from Perfect Day at Coco Cay. They will have the Loco Water Park, which has over 30 water slides. It has the tallest family raft slide in the Americas.
We all know how I feel about water slides.
Jaguar's Peak is the tallest water slide tower in the Americas with 10 slides. It's like a big jaguar. It looks cool. I'll put a picture in here. There will be slide. Oh, so there. Have you ever seen those TikToks with people who are like on like really tall water slides and they like fling you up into the air and they like do flips off of them?
Thankfully not.
Oh, well, they'll have those type of water slides and people will judge your launch into the air.
What?
Yeah.
I do not want people judging my launching body flailing in the air.
Will you be launching into the air?
No, I'm not launching my body into the air and like flailing about for people to be like, oh, look at her. That's a 6. Like, why would I do that? Are you?
Yeah, I can't wait. 2027 is going to be a crazy year. We're going to be celebrity river cruising and flinging ourselves into the air at Perfect Day Mexico.
In the middle of Costa Maya, Mexico.
Also, the world's longest lazy crazy river.
Those are 2 very juxtapositioned words.
Well, it's the longest lazy river in the world, which I'm excited about. I love a lazy river.
You know what? Lazy and crazy.
But
Me.
hidden in this longest lazy river in the world will be a hidden stretch of rushing rapids.
Will I get to like choose my path?
Well, I think so. I think it's like a diversion. The crazy. Have you ever been in a rushing rapids lazy river? There's one.
I feel like those are 2 very different experiences.
There's one at Volcano Bay. I haven't been.
I haven't been to Volcano Bay.
But there's also one in Atlantis in Nassau, which
well,
I've been
I haven't
to.
been there.
And it's pretty fun. It's like a safety hazard too. You have to wear like a life vest because it's like a rapid.
No. No.
So there will be a lazy crazy river. In the lazy river, there's also going to be 3 bars along the way.
What?
And there's going to be spots for you to tie up your tube. So you can like pull up to the bar in the lazy river and tie up your tube. And
Oh my God, the on my way to the liquor store TikTok is going to go crazy.
2027, I hope that trend is still around.
On my way to the liquor store.
And it is over a mile long. And will take an hour to complete the loop.
What?
Now, there's many stops to get in and out, but if you want to do the whole loop, it's over a mile, hour long.
That is like prime girl talk. Like time. Like in the lazy crazy river.
Longest in the world. I'm excited.
I can't wait to talk in it. In my silly little life vest. And then get like gushed out, I guess. I don't know.
Now,
Sloshed about, as you would say.
Also at Perfect Day Mexico, there will be 6 pools, 3 beaches, 12 eateries, 24 drinkeries, a lot of sombreros, the world's largest sombrero bar.
Okay, but you want to know what I'm already mad about?
What?
They're going to be like, and we're docking from 8 to 2. And then I'm going to be like, and it's going to take me 1 of those hours just to get through the lazy river.
That is a fair point.
And I'm not going to be able to eat at all 24 of the eateries.
I know. I was just thinking when I was going through this list, I was like, I won't be able to do all of this in one trip. So now we're going to have to go twice, 3 times.
This is how they get you. Like, how am I supposed to be gushing through the lazy river 1 hour and then flailing my body in the air in another and get through everything?
You won't. And they will also have the Costa Beach Club, similar to the Coco Beach Club at Coco Cay, and El Hideaway, like Hideaway Beach, the adults only area at Coco Cay. So it's going to mirror Coco Cay, but it's going to have all the offerings and more.
I love how they're like,
El Hideaway.
like Coco Cay, but make it Spanish.
Well, perfect. Well, the idea, so they're doing a lot of different new destinations. Perfect Day is one idea. So Perfect Day at Coco Cay, Perfect Day Mexico. And then they have the beach clubs, which they have the one in Nassau opening, and there's one in Mexico also opening. And then they're doing exclusive destinations, Labadee, and they just announced another one, Lelepa. Lelepa? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it's in the South Pacific.
Lelepa. Wait, where is that?
Like between Australia, New Zealand, and Papua New Guinea. So yeah, Perfect Day Mexico. A lot of new information announced. 2027, we're coming for you.
I'll see y'all at El Hideaway, baby. Catch me there.
Oh, but even El Hideaway.
Sitting in El Hideaway, and in the background, someone is flinging.
Oh my God. I forgot a part of Perfect Day Mexico. So like they have the Oasis Lagoon at Perfect Day at Coco Cay, there's also going to be a big, huge pool included. It is 3 times bigger than the Oasis Lagoon at Perfect Day at Coco Cay.
Whoa, and that's
a pretty big pool. When it was built, it was the biggest pool in the Caribbean. Now, Carnival is adding a huge pool at their new island, so I think that one took the cake. And I don't know if this one's going to be bigger. Probably not, because they didn't say it's the biggest. But 3 times bigger than the Oasis Lagoon, which seems impossible.
That's crazy.
So they're doing everything bigger and better than Perfect Day at Coco Cay, allegedly, with all the same offerings. So yeah, I'm excited.
Perfecto dia.
Ooh.
Bet you didn't know I was bilingual.
Okay, well, that is it for the Passport Report. I had quite a bit of cruise news this week, but a lot happened this week.
Yeah, that was crazy. Mine was so boring. Fill out this form if you want to go to the UK this summer, and then it's like, perfect day. You get a new ship. You get a new ship. You get a river cruise. What's going on?
I guess another reason why cruising is better.
Hot take.
Very hot take.
That is a sizzling hot take. Shine.
All right. Well, should we get into everything you need to know about the Celebrity Silhouette?
Let's do it. All right. So, general info. It launched in 2011. It is 122,210 gross tons.
Wow.
It is 1,047 feet long, 121 feet wide. She a thickie.
Oh.
She can hold 2,886 people. She spends her winters in the Caribbean and summers in Europe. Lucky her.
Ooh, that's how I'm trying to be.
For real. What is this 700 million ordeal?
Oh, so it cost $700 million to build in 2011.
That's crazy.
Now all the new cruise ships cost well over $1 billion.
Could you? Oh, how much is Icon?
Well over $1 billion.
That's crazy. She has 2 pools and 7 hot tubs, and one of them is exclusive.
So yeah, basically she's a mid-sized ship, about 15 years old. But we just sailed on her, and I think she's holding up. I thought it was a good size.
Yeah.
And didn't feel 15 years old.
It did not. And we were just recently talking about it, and I was like, that ship felt way bigger than it sounds. Like,
Yeah.
when we were on it, I felt like we were on a
was huge.
huge ship. Like, there was no way that it was that small.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it is. But when you're on it, it doesn't feel small.
It didn't feel small. It's a
by
very
any means.
mid-size.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a nice ship.
Yeah.
Okay, now the type of cabins they have on board. So they do have solo cabins, solo inside cabins for all the solo travelers. They do have solo inside, and then your standard inside ocean view, and they call balcony cabins veranda cabins. So they have your standard ones. Then they have concierge class rooms, which are just your standard balcony room or veranda, but it includes a welcome lunch and specialty concierge service.
A welcome lunch.
Yes, I think it's in the main dining room, so you don't have to deal with like boarding day crazy buffet.
Sold.
And concierge isn't typically that much more than a regular veranda cabin, so you don't get that many perks, but it might be worth that extra charge.
Listen, as someone who gets boarding day anxiety, I would love to just hop on and go straight to the dining room.
Yeah.
Please.
And then they have the Aqua class, which is a step above concierge class, which again is a standard balcony room, but you have access to the Persian Garden, which is the thermal spa. So that's included throughout the duration of your cruise. And you have an exclusive restaurant called the Blue Restaurant. So it's a smaller restaurant, so you're not like in the big main dining room, and they have like a more exclusive menu, I guess. And again, Aqua class isn't that much more. You're not talking like sweet prices. So it's a little bit more for an elevated experience. I think it might be worth it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then lastly, the Retreat is the suite class on board Celebrity Cruises. With that on the Silhouette, there is a private sun deck, there is a private lounge, and an exclusive restaurant, Lumine.
Nice.
Those are all the cabin types you can have. We're working our way to Retreat.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, we'll get there. But our inside room was very nice. It was one of the nicest inside rooms I've stayed in.
100%.
It was so big, so much storage.
Yes,
so.
very spacious. We we walked in and we were like, we could be in here for 8 days to Alaska.
Yeah. The cabins are really spacious on the Silhouette.
Yeah, very nice cabins. Alrighty. So for dining, For included food, we have obviously the main dining room is always included. The Ocean View Cafe, which is AKA their buffet. Mast Grill, which is poolside burgers, french fries, little fixins, things like that. The Spa Cafe, which is like breakfast and lunch, and there's like light, healthier bites, and that's in the solarium. And then they have Cafe Al Baccio? Baccio? I don't know.
Baccio, I think.
Baccio? And it's just like little pastries and coffees and things.
Which the pastries were free at El Baccio, but the coffee is extra. But they had really good pastries. I was shocked that they were all included.
So many options too, like 3 tiers, 4 across, 3
like
down.
full cakes, fun pastry. It was impressive.
Now, I'll save that for the next episode because
it was interesting, maybe level of service.
yes, we'll get into it.
Stay
Tune
tuned
in
for
on
Friday.
Friday, yeah, to see what happened at Cafe Al Baccio.
But then for specialty dining on board the Silhouette, they have Le Petit Chef, which is an interesting concept. It's basically like an entertainment interactive dining experience. They have projectors that project onto your table, and there's a petit chef who like guides you along and like makes your food on the projector screen. It looks interesting. I'd do it for the gimmick. We didn't do it, but it is interesting.
Looked cute.
It did look cute. It's an interesting option that you don't see anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
So
We didn't do it because we couldn't really justify the price.
yeah, it was kind of pricey for what it looked like. But if you're looking for an interesting experience, that's definitely it.
I think it would be awesome to do with like kids.
Yeah,
I think that would
so.
be really entertaining. If you're looking for like a romantic like meal, don't do the Le Petit Chef. Please do not, because there's a little man walking on your plate, like talking in
The whole
Italian
dinner.
to you. Yeah,
But it was an unique offering.
yeah, it was cute. It would be fun to do.
Yeah. And then the Tuscan Grill, which is the Italian steakhouse, we did eat there. It was very delicious, very similar to Giovanni's Table on Royal Caribbean. I saw a lot of similarities. So if you've eaten there, that's kind of what this vibe was. Then Murano, which is a French cuisine. The Lawn Club Grill, which is outdoors and it's up on the top deck near the lawn. It's an outdoor grilling experience that has like flatbread, steaks, fish, kebab. So grill it out on the lawn. That's kind of fun.
Cookout.
Yeah, how fun. Then they also have the Porch, which is seafood and has a raw bar. Sushi on 5 is a Japanese cuisine, as well as a variety of sushi options. And then Cafe El Baccio, like we said, and Gelateria. The coffee and gelato is extra, but those pastries were included. And then 2 exclusive restaurants, like I mentioned earlier. Blue is for the concierge class, and Lumine is for the retreat.
I do wish that we had done more specialty dining on this ship, but
We were only there for 3 days.
we were only there for 3 days, and like to be honest with you, it was all very steeply priced.
It was. Now, we probably could have booked ahead of time, and it is a little cheaper, but we weren't really planning on it. That's just not
Yeah.
our go-to. But it may have been a little cheaper, but it still was steep.
Yeah, but I like this lawn club sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like I would have done that, but a little pricey.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, now there are bars on board, of course. There is the Martini Bar, which tell us more about the Martini Bar.
Martini Bar actually has an ice top, and they do martini shows. This is a big thing they do on Celebrity. I think they have a ice martini bar on every ship. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. And it was cool. They had unique martinis. And then I think on the Silhouette, they only did the martini show once a night, which we never got to see, but they do a fun martini show and it's cool.
It was really fun. We had a good time.
We went there a couple times. It's fun to have a nice top bar.
Yeah.
How fun.
It was cool. It was really fun. And they have the Craft Social, which is the sports bar. They have a Passport Bar.
I threw this one in there just because we were the Passport pals. It was just a regular bar in the lobby,
Yeah.
but how fun. Passport.
They have the World Class Bar, which is like elevated cocktails.
And then they had the Ensemble Lounge, which was a unique venue. We didn't really spend much time here, but there was live music, and it was kind of this like dark place, but they call it the gateway to specialty dining, and that it was. It was this really dark kind of sultry lounge, but then it opened up to the specialty dining. So
It was fun in there. It kind of felt like like a speakeasy without being a
Ooh,
speakeasy.
Yeah. And I guess that kind of leads into how it's the gateway to specialty dining. Because
Yeah.
if the specialty dining is a speakeasy. Again, we didn't get to spend any time in there because it was only a 3-night cruise. But they did have cool cocktails I wanted to try. So maybe next time.
And last but not least, they have the Sunset Bar, which is at the top of the ship, the aft.
Yeah, with great views. Somebody commented on my TikTok today, like, oh yeah, sunsets at the Sunset Bar. And I'm like, I wish we hung out there more too. We went there the first day and there was really cool furniture, great views over the back of the ship.
I do wish we had more time on this ship.
Yeah, it was a really nice ship.
It was.
Then, yeah, they did have, of course, more bars than that, just regular bars around the ship, but those are kind of the specialty bars they have.
Tell us what we can do on the Celebrity Silhouette.
So, things you can do in different venues they have on board. So, the Grand Foyer is kind of the main atrium of the ship, and there was always live music, and a few of the different bars that we were just talked about were right off of there.
Shout out to the band that was there.
Oh, yeah. The band that was all the way from Africa, they said. They were phenomenal. They were all over the ship. They did a lot of performances there in the Grand Foyer.
I think all the live music on this ship was pretty good.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was cool. They had some parties in there. The silent disco was in the Grand Foyer. So, a lot of just a great gathering place on board. And then the Lawn Club, which is real grass on a cruise ship, which is cool. Now, I have a gripe with this. We'll talk about it in the next episode. But
Stay tuned.
the Lawn Club, real grass on a cruise ship, how fun. Then there is the pool deck. There were 2 pools on board. The main pool, which they had a lot of shade. They had those things like on the sides.
Oh,
which
yeah.
with also like cushy loungers you could sit in.
Yeah, it was
Fully
very
first come,
nice.
first serve. So I really do like the pool deck on this ship, as well as the solarium, which is adults only and an indoor pool. Like we said, there's 7 hot tubs on board. 6 of them are scattered between the main pool and the solarium, and then 1 is in the retreat sun deck, so exclusive for retreat guests. And there's also a casino. I love the casino on board. It was big. They had a lot of fun games. The theater, they had comedians, and they also had original production shows. The Hideaway, this was a cool venue. It was, the website describes it as escape to your own private lounging nest, and there was an actual like bird's nest seating you could
It was cool.
cozy up in. There were cool chairs like built into the wall. It's just
Yeah.
a cool place to chill out, maybe
It
read a
was
book.
Like 2 levels,
Yeah,
right?
but open to all like the elevator atrium. There's a live tree right there. So it was a really cool place. You kind of felt like you were in a nest in a tree, like it says. And then there was also a library. The Sky Lounge. I really liked this lounge too. It was in the very front of the ship. Windows, floor to ceiling windows around the whole thing. So great ocean views. They had live music. The club was there at night. Yeah, a great place to hang out.
Oh my God, that was the club?
Yeah. Remember? We went dancing almost every night.
I could not have told you that was the same place.
Really?
By any means. Maybe that's why the ship felt so big to me, because I never had any idea where I was.
Wow, we're at a new place
Yeah,
every time.
like I totally thought that was like a totally different. Shut the front door. What?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm officially impressed. Okay, anyways.
Quasar. Now, the website says this was the nightclub, but on our sailing, the nightclub was hosted in the Sky Lounge. So maybe originally when the ship came out, Quasar was the nightclub. But
Me thinking I was in Quasar.
but Quasar, it seemed like what they were doing, it was mostly a karaoke lounge. Every time we
Oh,
walked by,
cool.
there was karaoke or live music. So that was just a different lounge.
Oh.
We're like right outside the theater.
Oh, they should move it to the Sky Lounge, baby. That was fun. That was a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
I did not want to be in that karaoke lounge clubbing it up.
Yeah. So it's a good thing they moved the club up to the Sky Lounge, I guess.
Yeah, they should keep it there forever.
Yeah, so I think hopefully they have, but on our sailing at least, it was there. Then Celebrity Central was kind of a small, just other lounge. They host movies in here, so there was kind of movie theater seating, but they also did game shows and stuff in there. We didn't watch a movie, but it's cool they offer that on board.
We walked in while one was playing, and then we walked out.
And then the entertainment court is like a smaller atrium right outside the theater. It's 2 stories. It's kind of home to where Celebrity Central and Quasar, that karaoke lounge, is. They also hosted game shows right in there. So it's just another gathering place on board. They also have a spa with a salon and a thermal spa, a gym, and then kids and teens clubs. So yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Celebrity Silhouette. I think it's a great mid-sized ship. Definitely would recommend.
Yeah, we had a blast on this ship. We did do specialty dining. We hit every single venue on
main
this
dining.
ship.
All the food was good.
Obviously, we'll tell you more on Friday, but we've got a lot to talk about
We
with it
have a
because
lot.
in just 3 days, we covered
We
a
did
lot
a
of
lot.
ground. We had a lot of fun on this ship.
So stay tuned for Friday's episode to hear our in-depth thoughts and experience on board the Silhouette. Definitely would recommend. Great ship.
Slay. Alrighty, with that, the moment you've all been waiting for. Wish we had known.
What do you wish we had known?
So, kind of on theme with UK travel. I wish I had known about little plastic bags. If you know what I'm talking about, you already let out a sigh. Okay? These little baggies were the bane of my existence. And so we went to Europe last summer. And when you travel through the UK, Heathrow, Gatwick, and there's one more that does it. That's like really like well known for it. Honestly, just like take precautions if you're traveling to the UK because I think that
have a lot of rules.
the major airports do this. So when you are going through TSA, and mind you, I had heard about it, but in my silly little girl head, I'm like, no. It's not that serious. It won't happen. Because here's the thing about like TSA, at least in the United States, and this also might just be Florida, to be honest with you, like MCO. I don't know. Maybe it's just our home airport. But like, I feel like I take nothing seriously in TSA at MCO.
No.
Like everything changes every single time you go. One time you'll go and they'll be like, all electronics need to be out of your bag. And the next time you go, the person is like, just leave it in your bag. And then the next time you go, they're like, take off your shoes. And then another time you'll go, they'll be like, leave your shoes on. And I don't know if that's all airport TSAs or just MCO because MCO is like, I feel like the crackhead airport. So I was like, nah. I'm going to get lucky. And they're just not going to do that this time. In my mind, I was like, it's like leaving a laptop in my backpack.
Yeah.
Like they're just going to let me do it this time around. Wrong. If you're traveling through any of the major UK airports, correct me if I'm wrong, they give you
A quart-sized bag.
a quart size, which is not big, plastic bag to put any and all of your carry-on liquids in.
And yeah, it was a lengthy process because
Imagine
everybody
my
has
shock.
to take them out and fill this tiny bag.
And that was the most miserable part, okay? Had I known and had you like had them outside of the actual process, things would have been much smoother.
Yeah.
If I would have been checking my bag and someone would have handed me a little quart-sized baggie and said, make sure all your liquids are in here. If they're not, put them in your carry-on. Or put them in your check bag. A little more efficient. We agree?
Yeah.
No. Listen, they had you check your bags, go through pretty much all security, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, more security, put all your liquids in this tiny little bag.
Yeah.
And
was
if
crazy.
you didn't have room in the bag, guess what?
Goodbye.
Toodles. Straight into the garbage. Pardon? Now, if I had known, maybe I would have put it in my checked bag. Hello? So, just keep it in mind that your liquids must fit into this tiny quart-sized bag.
And pre-pack them in a quart-sized bag, maybe to save you some time and hassle.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, it was utter chaos.
Yeah.
There are people everywhere with all of their belongings spread out because obviously everyone's trying to get to the same goal. People are, rushing to flights, obviously. It was like, there were so many people all with the same goal. And I'm like, okay, let me like dig into my carry-on and find my toiletry bag. And also, don't forget about your little hand sanitizer that's tucked away in a random little pocket.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Because who left their hand sanitizer tucked away in a random little pocket in their carry-on bag and was like avidly searched?
Yeah, that was me.
Like, I'm talking
It took a
15 to
long
20
time.
minutes because it appears as though everyone had a tiny little hand sanitizer
Yes.
tucked away in their
And I
little
thought,
bags.
because I had a whole bunch of like camera equipment that like sometimes gets flagged for looking like a weapon. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's it. And
No.
they check everything and they're like, no, what is it? What is it? What is it? And then they find this little hand sanitizer and they're like, oh, yeah, you needed to put this in your little baggie.
Like a tiny Purell bottle. Not even like
It was like 1 ounce. Crazy.
because it wasn't in the baggie.
separated in the bag. Yeah.
Where did it go? The garbage.
Yes.
They took
They
it.
did take it.
They let it fall.
And all of my stuff was everywhere in the middle.
Yes, and they ripped his suitcase
And
apart.
backpack apart for the one hand sanitizer.
Absolutely miserable. And it was chaos. It was utter
Yeah,
chaos.
it
And
was
I will
pretty
never
bad.
forget it. Because if you have any form of like TSA anxiety, which
Mm.
literally who doesn't? There's people screaming at you and you never know what's coming next and you might have to take your shoes off. You might not. Who knows? Like it's nerve-wracking and anxiety inducing. And then when they're like, surprise, unpack.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine
Yeah.
you're getting ready to like board your little flight with all your cute little toiletries packed away and they're like, guess what? Unpack.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was crazy.
It was very crazy. Now,
So just keep that in mind.
I will say though, the quart size liquid rule is a pretty standardized airline liquid rule. However, I have never seen it enforced like it was in London.
Again, I am really used to my silly little
Mm-hmm.
MCO lifestyle, okay?
But again, everybody was caught off guard by this. Like, I've never had to separate my liquids in my quart bag. I did probably know at some point that you're only allowed a quart size bag of liquids.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not like lugging on gallons.
But I have never had to physically take out my liquids and separate them into the bag.
Well, and like in my mind, I'm like, it's all consolidated already into a
Mm-hmm.
toiletry bag.
That's true. You couldn't just put your toiletry bag. It had to fit in the
It
quart size
had
plastic
to fit
bag.
inside. So if you've got like a silly little toiletry, like you have your little hang up one,
Yeah.
you would have had to unfold said toiletry hang up bag.
Unpack everything that had been
I
packed
had
away.
to unpack my silly little toiletry bag because we were traveling internationally. It was like a 9-hour flight, and I wanted my toiletries with me. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. What if we had, I don't know, a crash landing and I needed my mascara? Like, I don't know. You never know. But it wasn't even like I was carrying on like shampoos or I wasn't carrying on anything crazy. It was like lip gloss and
Perfume.
and like a silly little hand sanitizer and toothpaste. Like,
Yeah.
it was insane. It was insane. And maybe I sound like a complainer. Don't get me wrong. Thank you, TSA. Thank you to security for keeping us safe.
I don't know, but it was crazy. And I forgot that I left my hand sanitizer in there and had to get searched.
Yes, literally searched. Your stuff was everywhere.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then we had to repack your bag like off to the side awkwardly.
yeah.
Thank God we were there early.
Yeah.
All right.
So wish we had known. London Airport. Your liquids need to be in a quart size bag.
Yep.
And everybody in the airport was equally as unprepared as us. Big pile up.
Potentially even more
Yes.
unprepared. Because, like, I had it in the back of my mind. Like, I definitely knew it was coming.
But people had like water bottles they were dumping out
Yeah.
and this and that. It was
People had some crazy stuff going on. Like, and the trash bins were full.
Overflowing.
Like, so full of people just tossing things that they didn't need.
yeah.
What do you wish you had known?
Wish we had known. Kind of related to celebrity cruises, since we talked about that today.
Mm-hmm.
The drink prices on celebrity cruises are very high, very expensive.
Muy expensivo.
Every drink was, I won't say every, but I'd say 80% of the drinks on board were between $17 to $19, which is crazy.
I would say even higher.
Well, but that's the pre-gratuity price. But then they charge the 18% gratuity on every drink you purchase. So then every drink I purchased came out from $20 to $24 a piece. Which is just crazy. On most
Steep.
other cruise lines, maybe like $16 all in with the gratuity, which like I know you're on vacation, drinks are going to be expensive, but $24 for a drink at the pool, I was not expecting that at all. And for just a mimosa, I got a simple popsicle mimosa, $24. A watermelon margarita at the pool, $24.
Crazy.
Like it was crazy.
And I mean, if you go to a bar nowadays, like a nicer bar, a drink is going to cost you $16-ish, give or take. But
I just had not had that expensive drinks on any other cruise before, and this was our
Yeah.
first celebrity cruise. But then the drink package, so they have an all-in package where if you book at the time of booking, you get drinks and Wi-Fi included. But that drink package only includes drinks up to $12. Now, I didn't see a single drink on a single menu for $12. Now, if you wanted a basic standard well margarita or like a glass of wine or a beer, that was all included. But any cocktail on any menu in any of the bars was over $12. So you can pay to upgrade your package for a nominal fee, which then I think you have to get the upgraded drink package if you're going on Celebrity, because the basic one doesn't include really anything.
unless you're only getting the drink package because you know you're going to have a glass or two of wine a day.
That's true.
Or if you're going to have a few beers a day.
I guess
But-
that's true. It just depends what you're drinking. But if you want not even like a specialized cocktail, but just like a,
Yeah, we're not talking top shelf.
yeah, we're just talking like the watermelon margarita that's on the drink menu,
$20.
which isn't anything special. It's just like a cocktail.
Yeah. It's just not normal. Like, even for a cruise,
It was outrageous pricing.
yeah, not top shelf. You're typically paying, like you said, like $16 a
Yeah.
drink.
Royal Caribbean, it's $16, including gratuity for all the cocktails on the menus.
Yeah, but the first bar we stepped foot in, we were looking at the drink menu, and it started at $19.
Which was just crazy work.
And it wasn't like,
They weren't crazy cocktails. It wasn't top shelf. It was just like a mango martini.
and it was like this big.
So yeah, I just wish we had known that the drinks were expensive, and if you're getting the drink package, you pretty much should upgrade unless you're just getting a glass of wine or a well margarita, because it won't include anything otherwise.
Yeah.
But now we know, so for
Now we
next
know.
time. But it was pretty sticker shock.
Now, would you get the drink package?
I would. Now, sometimes the all-in package, I don't know the pricing on it, but sometimes when I'm looking at cruises, the all-in package is like not that much more, and sometimes it's like a lot more. So I don't know if they do variable pricing, but I don't think it's a bad deal. And someone was saying in my TikTok comments that you can upgrade for like $7 a day or $10 a day, which I don't think is that much.
No, if you're going to have a few drinks a day, I feel like it pays for itself.
Yeah, so to get the upgraded package for $10 more a day, I don't think is that bad, but it is an upgrade you can do. And I think for our cruise that we went on, the all-in package was like $500 more. For two people. So $250 a person, roughly. It was probably a little more than that for drinks and Wi-Fi.
Wow.
For 3 nights.
I consider that kind of steep.
Kind of steep. I didn't think it was terrible, but
I think that's kind of terrible.
it included Wi-Fi too. If it was just Royal Caribbean charges more than that for just the drink package.
Wow.
For a 3-day cruise. I didn't want to spend that much. I didn't think it was worth it for it, but in the industry, I didn't think the pricing was too outrageous.
Now, I assume the answer is yes, but I'm going to ask a stupid question just in case anybody else is having the same stupid question thought. So I'm not a big drinker. So if you were to get the drink package, I would also have to get the drink package?
Yes, which is another reason why I didn't think it would be worth it, because like you said, you're not that big of a drinker.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense to pay all that much money.
So keep that in mind too. If you're not huge drinkers, like it might not be worth it.
Yeah.
Which you weren't really drinking.
No. But I had maybe 3-4 drinks a day.
What?
Yeah, but even still, it wouldn't make sense to get the package, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah. Now, if I
See-
had the package, I would have been drinking more, but like 4 drinks a day.
See, so I feel like if you're kind of a moderate drinker, it's maybe not worth it.
Yeah.
If you're like going on a trip to drink, sure.
Yeah.
I would get the package. But if you're just, going to have a drink by the pool, I might have a drink with dinner.
But now then you are going to be paying $20 a drink. So then when you're factoring, so it just kind of.
So many things to consider,
Yeah.
but it's really up to personal preference. But Wish we had known.
Wish we had known. Well, that is episode 4 of the Passport Pals podcast. I hope you learned something today about the celebrity silhouette and the new travel news in the world. And hopefully now you're more prepared if you're traveling to London or on a celebrity cruise.
Yep. Euro summer, baby.
Yeah.
She's almost here. Do your research.
If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, do all the things. If you're listening to us, be sure to leave us a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. And with that, we'll see you guys on Friday. But thanks for hanging out with us, and where to next?